Hey you witches, it's Taya and Luna, and we are here today because I thought I'd like to talk about why I still celebrate Christmas even though I'm a witch. I think a lot of times people feel like, oh, I've started down this like witchcraft or a pagan path and I need to I gotta give up all these like other things that I've grown up celebrating. And for me personally, that's not the case. And I sort of struggled with this for a long time, feeling like maybe I'm not a good witch because I still do Christmas with, we put up a tree, we've got presents, I do a manger, the whole bit. And, I really struggled with that. And I know a lot of people do. And what I've come to realize is that I can still celebrate Christmas, even though I'm a witch. So how does that work? Well, first of all, I'll give you 5 reasons why. First of all, Christmas is also a secular holiday. It is part of our cultural identity here in North America. There are tons of people who celebrate Christmas but don't celebrate Christ Mass, who aren't celebrating the birth of Christ, who aren't celebrating in a religious way. They're just doing Christmas, man. Santa's coming with presents, we're putting up the stockings. Right? It's not necessarily a religious holiday, especially here in North America. So that's one reason. Now, for me, I do, in a sense, believe in the birth of Christ. Now, I don't necessarily consider Jesus to be the Son of God as I know it, but I do think he was a great prophet. I do believe he walked the earth. He preached love and tolerance and peace and joy. And I think that's worth celebrating. I think somebody who tried to change the world and the way the world works and went through all of the terrible things that he did, I think that's worth celebrating, the birth of Jesus. Now, do I celebrate it as the birth of the Son of God? Maybe not so much. But I do think it's a day worth of note. Second of up, third, whatever you want to go with. Third, I grew up with Christmas. That was part of my personal traditions. And as a traditional witch, I like to pull from tradition. And that's something that I grew up with. So I have a manger. When I'm setting up the manger, I'm not thinking about, the wise prophets and the star in the sky and the gifts of myrrh and frankincense and whatever the other one was. That's not really what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, when I was little, I remember, here's the ornament that I broke and I hid from my mom in her Beta Sigma Phi bag because she was part of a sorority, and I thought, she'll never find it in there. Of course she did. Right? I'm thinking about all of the family history and stories that come with that manger. So it's just part of my personal tradition is to do this. Now, a lot of people are like, but you gotta celebrate Yule. And Yule is the day of the solstice on the 21st. I think Yule is a season. There are some traditions that celebrate Yule as a season that runs from December 21st through to about January 5th. I think of it as my Yule season. I've got solstice on the 21st. I've got Christmas Eve on the 21st, Christmas Day on the 25th, maybe a little bit of Boxing Day on the 26th. On the 31st, I've got Hagmanay and New Year's Eve. And on the 1st, I've got New Year's Day. And it's a whole season of celebrating of all sorts of different things. So I see Christmas as part of my Yule season. Okay? And finally, coming from a traditional witchcraft background, I have a Scots background, and after the Protestant Reformation in Scotland, this is always what I find so interesting, is that anything Catholic was considered witchcraft. And if you were caught practicing Catholicism, you could be burned at the stake as a witch. What? So I guess I look at it kind of in a similar way. And I even go back further to when those first Catholic missionaries came to Scotland and they started converting everybody. They started converting the Picts and the Gauls and the Celts and all the different tribes. And those people said, yeah, okay, we could get on board with what you're preaching here. It's kind of similar to what we got going on. And those first people that were converted and started going to church regularly, they weren't there worshiping God and Jesus Christ and Mary the mother of God, like the way that Christians today do, right? They were going, oh yeah, sure, I believe in God, we have those things going on. So they were there sort of celebrating what they already knew, just under a different veil, if you will. And I sort of see myself like that, you know? I'm not a practicing Catholic. I was baptized Catholic, but I'm definitely not a practicing Catholic. Although I have to say, when the 25th rolls around, that is the only day of the year that I miss church. I want to go to church and I want to sing hymns. I do miss it on Christmas, going to Christmas Eve and singing all the hymns and all of the community there. But, right, I see myself kind of similar to those early Celts and Gauls and Picts who had their own belief systems, but were like, sure, I can celebrate them under the guise of what you missionaries have going on. So, yeah, those are kind of my 5 reasons why I still celebrate Christmas, even though I'm a witch, I'm a pagan, and it's just a very important part of my Yule season. So how do you celebrate? Do you celebrate Christmas? Do you stick strictly to Yule? What do you do in your practice? I'd love to hear. Leave me a comment. And if you like this kind of content, make sure that you subscribe. I'd love to hang out with you again in another video. And if this was up your alley, make sure you give me a like. All right. Thanks so much, you guys. We'll catch you in the next one.